day of our junior class retreat. It was the morning of September 29th that we headed west to the Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area in a tour bus with some chaperoning parents on board and others bringing up the rear in their minivans and BMWs. Timmy was actually sitting next to Mackenzie on the bus, his big muscle-bound body planted between her and the aisle. Mackenzie kept giving me her eye-rolling, get-me-out-of-here look. Timmy was not her favorite personality at school, although lately she seemed to be his favorite. You'd have thought a semi-good-looking guy like Timmy would have been able to get at least a trial date with Mackenzie. If you wrote a personals ad for him, it would read, "Brains and brawn, totally hot high school junior, quasi-successful commercial actor/model, National Honor Society member," which is why personal ads are so misleading. Timmy was all those things, but he was also superficial, self-absorbed, and cold-hearted. In short, a total social barbarian. At least Mackenzie could see right through the glare of Timmy's minor celebrity. Not many of our female classmates could. My theory is that this is exactly why Timmy was giving Mac the full-court press. You always want what you can't have, right? Anyway, the one thing I will give Timmy is that he was a hard-working minor actor, although his performance as Tarzan in that Snickers ad didn't do anything for me. Then again, I'm no Madison Avenue mogul. Maybe Snickers fans loved it. Timmy's mom had pushed him into acting, the same way she'd pushed his older sister Marina, who had big blue eyes and a face like a pancake. Marina Warner used to go to West Side too, until one day she suddenly dropped out and disappeared. Later, we heard she'd moved to California to act full-time. Every once in a while you'd see her flapjack face in the background of some movie, but I understood she wasn't doing so hot out there in La La Land. Having a stage mother isn't usually a recipe for perfect mental health, and the Warners were no exception. Marina had definitely popped her fair share of Prozac, but there was no telling how whacked out Timmy really was. He kept it hidden better than his sister, though he did like to wear T-shirts with controversial slogans like, "Jesus was raised in a kosher home." As you may have guessed by now, I never personally liked the guy, and I wasn't the only one. He dated a lot of desperate girls, sure, but it never lasted long. He had hardly any close friends either. None, in fact. And as we were about to find out, even his own mother couldn't stand him. So now, here he was bothering Mackenzie. I thought about telling him to knock it off, but I decided not to, remembering that the ride was almost over. Furthermore, I knew Mackenzie was a big girl and could take care of herself. Boy, was she mad when we finally got off the bus. "Thanks a lot," she snapped as we grabbed our backpacks, which were stuffed full of picnic lunches and sweatshirts. We headed up the path, following our fearless leader of the day, Ms. Conlon. A sign at the side of the path read, "Heaven Falls Picnic Area, half-mile." The path led up a steep hillside. To the left, when there were gaps in the trees, we could see a spectacular waterfall. The Delaware River roared between two cliffs, then poured itself down a 50-foot waterfall into a pool filled with sharp rocks. Off to one side of the falls, a concrete spillway led down and around the rocks. At the far end, it disappeared into a building marked Delaware Hydroelectric Plant. "I pity any poor fish caught up in that spillway," I commented. "The turbines inside that building would grind it up into fish food faster than you could say chicken of the sea." Mackenzie didn't even look. "Stop trying to distract me, PC," she snapped. "Why didn't you rescue me from that Neanderthal?" "What am I, your white knight? Anyway, I didn't think it was my business." "Well, what a drag to be trapped with Weenie Warner the whole way here," Mackenzie said with a sigh. "It's weird, though. Spend enough time with someone, and you can always find something in common with them." That's Mackenzie for you, always analyzing things. It's what makes her such a great detective partner. She's got an instinctive feel for what makes people tick. I must say, though, that I failed to see what she and Timmy could possibly have in common besides the air they breathed. "We both have issues with our parents and money," she went on. "My mom and dad are always complaining about how they don't have enough loot to do this or that," she said, kicking a pebble for emphasis.